Live, and today I am going to show you how I made a fun shaker card with one of the cute little upcoming stamp set bundles from the online exclusives. And this will be available to order starting on the 6th of May for customers. And it's available to order now for demonstrators on your pre-order. If you are interested, if you're not a demonstrator and would like to get your hands on some of these pre-order goodies that I've been showing you for the last week or two, you can actually join as a demonstrator now, and you can add pre-order items to your starter kit, which is a great deal. And then once you join, you can actually purchase a few more pre-order items. Many of the things that I've been showing you are available to order right now for demonstrators. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you about it and talk with you about how you can join the team. The starter kit is $99 plus tax if that applies in your area. And the kits ship for free. And then you get to pick $125 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise in your starter kit. So it's a great deal. And then once you join, you get to be a part of our team if you join with me. And then you also get at least a 20% discount on everything that you order from Stampin' Up! Moving forward as a demonstrator. So, all right, so I see that I'm all crazily crooked, so I'm going to scoot this over and scoot it down just a little bit, hopefully straighten things out just a hair for the video here. So I see Karen and Sally and Pam and Bonnie and Marva and Danette and Donna and Wendy, Gina Marie. If I didn't say hi to Pam, I think I said hi to Pam already. And then Debbie, thanks everybody for joining today. I appreciate you being here. So yep, this is what we're making. It's a little shaker card, and it's actually super quick and easy to make. The part that takes the longest is the coloring, and it really doesn't even take that long. So this is it. So I see Debbie and Marilyn and Kathy and Roxanne. Everybody, thanks for joining. A few more people hopping in on the fence about the bundle. Oh, Bonnie, don't even just get it. I mean, just get it because you know you're going to want it. And you'll be sad if you didn't get it. So this is one of the new online exclusives that will be available to order starting on the 6th of May for customers. It's available now for demonstrators to pre-order. So again, it's not in any catalog. It's only in the online exclusives out in the online store. So you will find it there beginning on the 6th of May. And again, to find those, they're always in the online store. If you go out to stampinup.com, click on the menu button on the upper left, and then click on the online exclusives. It's a little round button there on the page, and you'll see all the online exclusives. There are like 8 pages or something of them. So there are quite a few of them. All right. So that's the card we're going to be making. This is called Party Piggy. And I can't even tell you when I was typing up things for this today, and I had it in my head that it's Pretty Piggy, not Party Piggy. So if you hear me say Pretty Piggy, I will apologize up front. You'll probably hear me say that at least 10 times during this video. And so I don't mean to. I just, for whatever reason, I don't know why pretty and party are mixed up in my head, but they are. But it is, in fact, Party Piggy. So it's a cute little stamp set. Again, kind of got some cheesy little sentiments in it. I am so proud of you. Let's party. And then the what's shakin' bacon. And then a happy birthday sentiment, as well as some confetti, a little hat, flags, and then the 2 pieces that make the piggy. So you're hog wild, Donna. I can see, yes, it's going to be a corny video today for sure. So, all right. So these are the dies and the stamped images. You can cut out the little pig's head, the little pig's body. Then we've got the flags and the hat. The circle die here is to cut out the shaker piece in the middle. So that's obviously optional. If you want to make it be just a little piggy and not do the shaker on the tummy, you don't have to do a shaker there. So you can definitely take this out and then just cut out the little piggy by itself. So that's an optional piece if you want to put that in and cut it the way that I have done it. But yeah, that is the die set, and it is a bundle, so you get to get both of these cute little things in the bundle. And again, it's an online exclusive only. So, all right, and yes, Roxanne, you do need this. Because you'll just, like I said, you'll be sad if you don't get it because it's just way too cute. A couple other things that I used on this, I did cut, which it might be a little hard to see, the designer series paper here. I cut it out with one of the I almost call them stitched rectangles because that's like another old thing that is stuck in my head. The textured notes dies, and this is the one I used. It's the second largest of the rectangles, and this is another great set that is in the online exclusives. And if you don't have this set, you definitely need to get it. There is a die set that is, or a stamp set that is bundled with it, but if you don't love the stamp set, definitely get the dies. You will love these. You're going to have lots of fun playing with them. So I cut out the designer series paper as well as the sentiment with this die set. And then I did a little embossing on the background with the brick. Exposed brick. Oh boy. Okay, exposed brick 3D. Just the exposed brick 3D embossing folder is what I'm trying to say. My goodness, who knew that those words would be so difficult to get out of my mouth? But mouth definitely goes faster than brain, or brain faster than mouth, whatever it is. So I did use this to emboss the little background behind the piggy here, so hopefully you can see that on the card front. All right. So let's get going before I stumble over any other craziness. Set that up here, this over here. Online exclusives, again, like I was chatting about, these are some of the new ones that are going to be starting on the 6th of May. So again, there's a lot more than what is shown here on either of these two flyers. This side is showing some things that are currently available to order out in the online exclusives. Just want to make sure that you are taking a look at those every time you go out to the online store so that you are able to pick up anything that you like. Again, they're not tied to any catalogs, so they kind of come and go. Some restock, some don't. So if there are things you like, just make sure you're grabbing them soon. All right, let's get going on the card. My original card is one of my favorite card bases, which is the top fold. So it's 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So that is what you'll see on the PDF that'll be out on my blog tomorrow. So it's a top fold card. The card we're going to be making here today is going to be the standard side fold card, just because I like to try to show those occasionally as well, because I know some of you don't love the top fold card and prefer the standard book fold one. So this card base is actually 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4 down the middle. Crumb cake cardstock. And then I have got a piece of crumb cake cardstock that measures 4 1/2 or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Again, the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow, so probably best to trust that and not my brain. Like I said, I'm already in travel mode, and things are just anyway. So this is the again embossed with the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, and we're just going to adhere that to the card front. And thank you guys for the birthday wishes. It is official today. I kind of forget. I mean, I'm at the well beyond the age where birthdays really are too much to get excited about, and now I'm like, oh, it's another one, and then I have to count like on my fingers and try to figure out how old am I. And I never thought there would come a day when I couldn't spout out quickly how old I was without having to do math, and math is not one of my strengths. All right, so we got that. We're adhering it to the card front with a little bit of the multi-purpose liquid glue, and I do like to use that glue sparingly, but use that for things like this because it gives me a little extra wiggle room before everything is stuck down there permanently. So, all right, so that's it for the basic card front. 35 it is, Karen. Yes, it's right around that, only maybe flipped around and add on a year or two. I can't remember exactly. Like I said, I have to do math in order to figure it out, and math is not something I'm good at. All right, so this is designer series paper, is from the Mixed Florals designer series paper, which is also an online exclusive. And I did cut it again with the second from the largest of the rectangle dies from the textured notes dies. So it's the second one in here. So it's got a pretty little decorative edge on it. Hopefully you can see that in the video. And then I'm going to adhere that to a piece of basic white cardstock that is cut to about 3 3/8 by about 4 7/8. And again, all the measurements will be on the blog tomorrow, as well as in the printable PDF tutorial, and I will link up to that in the description of this video tomorrow once the post goes live. It might be a little late getting posted tomorrow because I will be in an airplane when the post goes live. So yeah. But I'll get it posted eventually. Or if you just go to stampwithamyk.com, you'll be able to find it over there. Tomorrow morning, it'll be the very first blog post, so you'll see it there. All right, sticking that together with a little Stampin' Seal, and then we're going to use Stampin' Seal to adhere this to the card front as well. And math is definitely hard. Math was never a strength of mine, and yes, as I get older, doing the math in my head on a lot of things, yuck. So, all right, using a little Stampin' Seal to adhere this to the card front. And again, I'm just going to roughly center it. It doesn't need to be perfect, but getting it as centered as I can get it. Again, using the Stampin' Seal to adhere it together. Then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and we're going to do a little stamping. We've got the Piggy body, and we're going to stamp that in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. My ink pad does look a little different than the typical Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad does. One of my team members made an ink pad for me from the, it's the Craft White ink pad, only he obviously didn't ink it with the Craft White ink. He inked it, that comes uninked, and so he just put Tuxedo Black Memento ink refill on it, and it stamps so nicely. I get such nice dark images, where I used to kind of struggle with the older style of ink pad, or the original style of ink pad. And as Mary pointed out kindly, this ink pad may not hold up forever and ever, but yeah, I don't know if there's a, if it may break down the ink pad a little bit faster. I've been using it for a couple months and it's been working great for me, so I'm not going to complain at all about it. So, hey Cindy, thanks for hopping in. All right, so we've got our little images stamped, and actually, normally I color first and then die cut, but with the little piggy belly being cut out of it, and me being kind of lazy, I didn't want to overcolor the belly. I didn't want to color a whole bunch in here and then have it just be cut out and thrown away. So I'm going to cut the little piggy and the little piggy belly and then his little head, and I'll cut out the flags and things here. So I'm going to take the die set. I might as well just take it over there because, I'm pretty much using all of the dies. We're going to die cut these pieces, and I will be right back. So. All right. Let's see. Get the piggy all cut here. All right, so let me show you what I've got here for die cuts so far. So we've got the little piggy, and it does cut out most of his little tummy. So again, that's why I just didn't want to waste time coloring it and then have it just be tossed away. So then we got a little piggy head, and then get these over here on the die sheet. And then the final two, I'm just going to cut out the little hat and the little flags here as well with the dies that coordinate. All right. Come on. Okay, almost. Oop, oop. Come on. There we go. Oopsies, sorry. I threw one of my cutting plates on the floor. All right, so that's what the big clang was. So, from the edge of the memento pad is the leading cause of the smudges. Oh, okay, I'm glad. It actually has been working great for me. The only thing to be aware of is, and it may have just been the way he inked it, it's really inky, and the ink sits right at the surface on this ink pad. I'm assuming because it's stored upside down. So I was used to be having to like smash, squish, twist, turn, and everything to try to get the Tuxedo Black to actually ink my image. This, I like barely have to touch it, and it's really superly inked. So just be aware of that. You may not want to stamp on like your final project the first time you try it. I'll just warn you of that. At least it inked a little bit more than I thought it was going to when I initially started using it. All right, so let's start coloring. I have got Petal Pink Light and Dark Stampin' Blends markers, and that's what we're going to color most of the little pig here with. So I'm going to concentrate on his arms. Is that what they're called? Upper hooves, I don't know what they'll be. Do pigs have arms? Maybe not. That's probably not the right word for them. But anyway, just going to color again around the edges of where I've cut out the center of him. And I don't need to worry about coloring over the little spots on the piggy. You can try to avoid them if you want to, but there's no need to because you're going to be coloring over the top of them with a darker color anyway. Petal Pink is pretty super light, so nobody's going to know that you've colored them or not. So, all right. Again, just going around, finishing the edge of his little tummy. And again, it's light petal pink that I'm using to color that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the little piggy head. So again, just going to color in pretty much everything on the pig, or at least not worrying about coloring anything on the pig, just getting the color on it. Going around the edges here to try to keep myself somewhat inside the lines. But petal pink is one of those colors that if you have, you make an oopsie and color out of the lines with it, it's really easy to grab your color lifter and push the color right back inside the line. So this is one of those colors that you probably would only have to color over once with the color lifter, and you would never know that you went outside the lines with it. Sometimes your darker pinks and reds and blues, you kind of have to color over a few times in order to get it to cover it, but this one's one of those colors that's pretty light and pretty easy to fix if you have a little boo-boo with it. All right, so that is the light petal pink. Hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in from Texas. And then we've got dark petal pink. I'm just going to color in a little bit in the ear. And then we've got the little spots that I'm also going to color in with the dark petal pink, his little snout. And then the little spots on the side of the pig over here on his little belly. And that one. And then there are two spots on there that are basically filled in already with solid black ink, so I'm not going to worry about coloring on those. Then I've got crumb cake ink, or crumb cake Stampin' Blends, I should say, and I'm going to color with the light here. I'm not going to bring in any of the dark on the hooves. If you wanted to do that, you certainly can, and do a little more shading. To me, it was kind of a fun image, so I didn't want to spend a ton of time coloring, shading, coloring, making it look all perfect, because it's kind of just a fun little image. All right, so the pig is all colored. That's it, pretty quick and easy. Then I've got Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, and Lemon Lime Twist that I've got for colors here that I will be coloring with. I'm going to start with the Lemon Lolly light, and we're going to color every other stripe on the little birthday hat. And one up here at the top. And then we're going to color in one of the two flags down here. So I'm going to color in the one in the front with the little lemon lolly. I'm going to come back in with the dark, and you'll see my amazing shading abilities with this. I'm basically just putting little lines down the edges of the birthday hat just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then kind of the same thing here, just along the edges of the flag. And you probably can't even really see it. I can sort of see it in person, but not really. It's a light enough color that, you don't have to spend a ton of time messing around with it. All right, this is the light lemon lime twist. And we're just going to do the same thing, just do the every other, and then the one little flag. So we've got every other little stripe colored. Then I'm going to grab the dark and do the same thing, just do the very edges. Just do a little line here just to give it a little depth. And then maybe a little bit here around the edge of the lemon lolly little flag that I colored. And then the final color is Pool Party. And I'm going to start with the light Pool Party, and we're going to color in the little fringy things on the hat, and then the final flag. And you could really color these in with whatever color you wanted to go with. I don't know. These are some of my favorite colors, so that's why I picked them and kept it all sort of a little bit lighter. I mean, I guess the lemon lime twist is technically part of the brights, but to me it's a lighter bright, if that makes sense. And then again, just taking a little bit of the dark, blending it together. And that's going to be it. We're not going to mess around and spend a whole lot of time coloring these. All right, so you've got your little piggy pieces here all ready to go on the card front. The next thing that I did is I grabbed a piece of basic white cardstock in my 2-inch circle punch. You can use a circle die with this if you would prefer, whatever you have. That just measures, it doesn't need to be precisely 2 inches, but somewhere around that, like 1 7/8 inch would probably work. Or 2 1/4 might get to be a little bit too big. What I want it to do is basically fit and cover the entire hole on the back of the pig, but not hang out off the edges. So like I said, 1 7/8 would probably work. I think 1 3/4 might be a little bit too small, and probably maybe you could go up to 2 1/4 inches, but that you might have to trim a little bit off the edges. But whatever, if that works for you and you've only got a 2 1/4, that will work as well. All right. Then we were going to grab one of the little, these are called small circle shaker domes, and they come 12 in a box, and it's just a little tiny box like that. And we've got the loose shaker elements. And again, these are all these items that I'm using here are from the upcoming May 6th online exclusive, so you won't be able to find them in the online store until then, unless you're a demonstrator. And I'm just going to grab a couple pinches of these and fill it, I don't know, maybe between a third and a half full. You don't want to fill it way full because then it doesn't really shake very well, but you also don't want it to look too skimpy because, you know, then you're like, oh, there's a little shaky stuff in there. I guess there is, but anyhow, I just gave it, I don't know, several pinches, I guess, maybe more than a couple. Then to just get an idea of how it's going to look, put your circle on here, hold tight, flip it over, and if that looks like enough shaky stuff in there, you can go with that. I think I'm going to add just another pinch or two more. Whoops, and I saw one of the pieces just went fling and flew over. Flew over, it's laying over by my heat tool now. All right, close that up before I make a huge mess of everything. These little domes are self-adhesive, so there's a little sticker piece that is stuck on it. So peel off the sticker backing on it, and then just take your little circle that you've either die cut or punched and stick it on the back of the dome to create the shaker part. And there you go. Now everything's all secured inside and you don't have to worry about shaker pieces going flying everywhere. All right, same thing on the front side of the shaker dome. It's actually got the adhesive parts on both sides. Oh, there's some little piggy pieces there. Apparently they went flinging more than I thought they did. You can just set it down, put your little piggy tummy right over the top of it, and then use that adhesive that is already on the little shaker domes to stick your piggy belly together, and then you've got your shaker belly all done. So like I said, it's super quick and easy to make this. Let me get these little shaky bits back in the shaky bits container. And I'll probably spill more of them as I'm trying to put those 3 little pieces away. All right, set those aside so that I don't make any more of a mess with them. Okay, then we're going to go back to our card front, and we're going to stick everything together and onto the card front. And I'm using glue dots. If you prefer liquid glue or something other than that, you certainly can use whatever your preferred adhesive is. Seal would probably work, Stampin' Seal would. It's just because of this being kind of rolly, it might be sort of a pain to get Stampin' Seal to stick on the back of it very easily. But you certainly could use Stampin' Seal if you would prefer. I just thought glue dots were easier, that I could kind of stick them around wherever I wanted them on the back of the little piggy, just like that. And then I'm going to gently set it down here and grab my little piggy head and just make sure that he's going to be on the card front where I want him to be. If you want to be dancing more of a jig, you can turn it on one side or the other. I was more worried about getting everything to fit on the card front the way that I wanted it to, so that's kind of why I went with it the way that I put it on there. So you can put the little piggy legs as straight or not as you want, so because he can be dancing around and looking silly, or he can be more standing like mine is with his big belly full of shaker stuff. All right, so I'm going to smoosh that down because I like the way that's placed on there. And then we're going to grab a couple of mini glue dots to put the little piggy head on. So a couple under the ears maybe, and then one more maybe under the center, and we'll call that good. And then, again, you can tilt his head however you want it to be on the piggy. And there we go. And then I'm going to grab another glue dot and put his little hat on. Maybe a second one under the little pom-pom part, just to make sure it stays down and doesn't peel up when I stick it in the envelope. And then I'm going to grab another couple of glue dots to put down the flags. One other thing to know about this, obviously, it is much too thick to go in a standard envelope in the mail. I'm rolling up this glue dot because I'm going to put it on the bottom of the flags down here. So it's much too thick to put it in just a regular envelope to mail it. You would definitely, if you were planning to mail this, you'd need to put it in like a bubble mailer type thing or a little box of some sort if you have one of those. But just like a standard bubble mailer, you should be able to get it to the destination without it being completely smushed. So, all right. then it's such a cute little set. And like I said, if you don't want to have to deal with the shaker part of it, even without the shaker in his tummy, he's a really cute little pig. And then you could, you can just color the entire pig and put him on the card front, still with the same sentiments, and it's still not quite as cute in my opinion because he doesn't have the little shaky tummy, but it's still cute. So, all right. Well, let's get the sentiment done for the card front. So I'm going to grab, I've got Lemon Lolly for my cardstock. And I'm just doing a little rubbing over the top of it with the embossing buddy. Oop, and then I've got Versamark ink. And we're just going to stamp the little sentiment that says, "What's shakin' bacon?" And then I'm going to stamp that here on the Lemon Lolly cardstock. And then I'm going to grab my black embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powders. And I'm going to set these way aside over here so that hopefully I don't spill anything on them. And I'm just going to sprinkle that with embossing powder. And then just tap off the extra. And I may do a second little shake over the top of it, tap off the extra. And that should get most of it. And then we're going to heat emboss. So it's going to get loud in here for just a second. I'm going to turn on the heat tool. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and want to kind of speed up the drying process a little bit, you can use the level 1 setting or the level 2 setting for heat embossing, which is what I'm doing. It gets a little bit hotter when you're heat embossing. So, but it does take just a second for the heat tool to heat up warm enough to emboss it. So I'm just pointing it kind of off into space as I let the heat tool heat up a little bit. Then we're going to turn it here towards the project. And when you see it start to turn that shiny and kind of smooth black, then you know that it's done embossing, and you want to just keep the heat tool moving along here. You don't want to put it in any one spot for too long because you actually can burn your embossing powder. And then it gets all dull and not very shiny and not very pretty, and you won't like that very well. But hopefully you can kind of see it's got a little shine on it when you get done heat embossing. So I'm going to give that just a second to cool here. And then we're going to grab the smallest of the little rectangle dies from the Textured Notes dies. And this sentiment fits just perfectly inside there. So I'm going to take this, go run it through my die cutting machine, and I will be right back. All right, flip the wrong way. So there we go. Got our little die cut sentiment. And we're going to put that on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. My little half Stampin' Dimensionals. I have a whole bunch of little bits of, of sheets of Stampin' Dimensionals here to use up. So I guess it doesn't matter which one I use. Whoop, come on. And I'm going to put 3 of the little half dimensionals. Again, if you like whole dimensionals and prefer to use those, you certainly can. I just like my half dimensionals, so that's what I use. And we're just going to take that, and then we're going to stick it right down here underneath our little shaken bacon Piggy. Try to get it on there fairly straight. And that's it for the card front. So super quick and easy, and card front is all done. All right. Inside of the card, I also kept it pretty simple here. Got sentiment that just says happy birthday to you. And I got to grab my tuxedo black ink pad back again. And we'll just stamp that here on the basic white cardstock. This measures about 4 by 5 1/4. And again, the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow, and I'll link up to it as soon as I land and get in a spot where I can get back to my computer again. And then I've got the little confetti images here from the, I almost called it pretty again, the Party Piggy stamp set. And we're just going to stamp that right across the bottom of the cardstock here. And then I'm just going to grab a couple of the Stampin' Blends markers and color in the little confetti images. And I'm just going to use the light version of each of the markers. And, whoop, there we go. So I've got Petal Pink, Lemon Lolly, and Pool Party. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I picked a color and went with, okay, all the triangles are going to be one color. The little squares are going to be another color. and the little dots will be a final color. So again, I just happened to grab the lemon lolly for the first one. Then I'll do the rectangles in Pool Party. I guess that's not a rectangle, that's more of a triangle down there. So just a couple of those. And then Petal Pink will be the little dots, the smaller dots, I should say. I guess they're not so little. There's 2 different dots on there. And I think I've got all the little dots filled in. And that's it for the inside of the card. So I kept it pretty clean and simple on the inside as well. All right, and just a reminder, tomorrow I am flying out for a little spring break trip with my younger daughter. So I'll be gone for just a couple days. I'll be back middle of the week next week. But I will not be live on Tuesday at 2 o'clock since I'll be away. But I will plan to be back live on Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So I will plan to see you all then. And just give this a little quick crease here. Try to smoosh, not to smush the embossing on the card front. And that's it for the card. So super quick, super easy, and I think lots of fun. So again, this is all going to be available to order. The stamp set bundle, the little shaker bits, the little shaker bellies, all be available to order starting on the 6th of May, unless you're a demonstrator, and then you can pre-order it now. So thanks again for joining. Again, I'll be posting the PDF tutorial and all that stuff out on my blog tomorrow, which is Saturday morning around 8 o'clock Eastern time. And as soon as I have a minute to get it linked up, I will link directly to the blog post in the description of the video, so you can go find all the details and get the PDF tutorial when you're out there as well. So thanks again, everybody, for hopping in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And I will plan to see you all next week, Friday, around 2 o'clock Eastern time. So chat with you all soon.